The human body can survive 110 degrees for about 3 hours without water. It can survive smoke inhalation for maybe 4 minutes, but nobody survives 2,000 degrees. June 30th, 2013, 4:42 p.m. The ambient air temperature is 101 degrees Fahrenheit, but inside the canyon, it is rising fast. The wind has shifted. 10 minutes ago, the fire was moving away from them at 3 miles an hour. Now, it's an outflow boundary. A collapsing thunderstorm column has hit the ground like a hammer. The wind is pushing 50 miles an hour. The fire isn't walking anymore, it's sprinting. Eric Marsh, the superintendent, the man they call Soup, is on the radio. His voice is usually calm, the kind of calm that comes from 20 years of fighting fire. But not today. Today, his voice cuts through the static, distorted, urgent. He screams into the mic, "Granite Mountain to air attack! We are moving down to our escape route! We are leaving the black!" They call this the box, a canyon with 3 walls of vertical rock and 1 way out. The hike to safety is exactly 0.95 miles. At a normal pace, that's a 20-minute walk, but in this terrain, with 50-pound packs, in 100-degree heat, it's an eternity. Above the canyon rim, a wall of flame appears. It is 70 feet high. It curls over the top of the ridge like a tsunami. It is so bright it blinds you. The fire is consuming oxygen so fast that it is creating its own weather system. It is sucking the air out of their lungs before the flames even touch them. They are racing a monster that eats football fields in seconds, and they are running out of ground. The lead hiker hits a wall of brush, impenetrable, 10 feet high, manzanita, hard as iron. Someone screams out. It sounds like Steed yelling, "We're cut off! Soup, we're cut off!" Eric Marsh stops. He looks at the fire. He looks at his men. He looks at his watch. 4:42 p.m. And then he screams the command that no firefighter ever wants to hear. "Drop the packs! Get the shelters! Now! Deploy! Deploy! Deploy!" Hands trembling with adrenaline, heart rate spiking over 180 beats per minute, the men rip open the hard plastic cases on their belts. Inside is a folded bundle of aluminum and silica cloth, the M2002 fire shelter. Weight, 4.6 pounds. Melting point of the adhesive bonding the layers, 500 degrees. Melting point of the aluminum outer shell, 1,220 degrees. The temperature of the fire approaching them, 2,000 degrees. Do the math. They have to shake the shelter open, step into it, drop to their knees, and curl into a fetal position. They have to do this in less than 20 seconds. The roar is so loud they can't hear themselves scream. One by one, they disappear under the silver domes. 19 silver rocks in a sea of black smoke. They wait. They pray. And then, the world turns white. Quick pause. Statistically, 60% of you watching right now aren't subscribed. Don't be a ghost viewer. If you're enjoying this, make it official. Subscribe and drop a comment below. Thank you. All right, let's continue. To understand how the most elite firefighting crew in America ended up trapped in a box canyon in the Arizona desert, we have to go back. Before they were ghosts, they were gods. Well, they thought they were gods. They were the Granite Mountain Hotshots, and in the summer of 2013, they were the hardest men in Arizona. Let's step inside the locker room at Station 7. It smells of sweat, stale coffee, and leather oil. It's the smell of work. Clayton Whitted is in the doorway. He's doing pull-ups, but not just pull-ups. He has a 45-pound iron plate chained to his waist. You can hear him counting, gritting his teeth. 98, 99, 100. He drops to the floor, and the heavy clank of the iron hitting the concrete echoes through the room. That is the standard. You want to know what it takes to wear the logo? The buggy logo? The minimum entry requirement is a 3-mile hike with a 45-pound pack in 45 minutes. That's the pack test. The guys in this room, they do it in 30, running, uphill. Over in the corner, Chris Mackenzie is sharpening a McCloud tool. He runs a bastard file along the steel edge. Scrape, 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 sparks flying. He looks up at Donut. That's Brendan McDonough, the rookie. The kid is struggling just to lace his boots. Mackenzie grins, looking like a wolf. He calls out, "Hey Donut, you check your blood pressure this morning? You look a little pale. You gonna puke on my boots again?" Donut is nervous. He fumbles the laces. He stammers back, "No, Mac, I'm good. Hydrated." Mackenzie shakes his head. "Hydrated? Kid, you're drinking coffee. That's bean water. You need electrolytes. If you cramp up on the ridge today, I'm not carrying your pack. I'll leave you for the vultures. They like soft meat." Laughter erupts in the room. It's loud, boisterous, masculine. The sound of brotherhood. This is the tribe. They live together. They eat together. They fight the same demon together. And the gear they carry? It's not hiking equipment. It's siege warfare weaponry. Take the boots. White smoke jumpers. Handmade leather. 10 inches high. Vibram soles screwed into the heel with brass screws. Price tag? $500. Weight? 6 pounds a pair. Why the brass screws? Because when you step on ash that is 600 degrees, glue dissolves, rubber melts, leather cooks, but it holds. Then there's the saw, the beating heart of the crew, the steel MS-460 Magnum, 76 cc's of German engineering, a 28-inch bar, full of gas and bar oil. It weighs 22 pounds. Try holding a bowling ball at arm's length. Now swing it for 16 hours. Now do it while breathing smoke. That is the job. Suddenly, the room goes quiet. Not out of fear, but out of respect. Eric Marsh, Soup, walks in. He holds a clipboard. He looks at his men and he says, "All right, listen up. The party is over." He walks to the whiteboard and draws a slope. He writes 2 numbers, 105 and 10. He taps the board. 105 degrees, 10% humidity. We got a call, Yarnell, lightning strike on the ridge. It's been cooking in the duff for 2 days. The fuels are critical. The chaparral out there, the scrub oak, it hasn't burned in 40 years. It's not wood anymore, boys. It's gasoline on a stick. We're looking at flame lengths of 10 feet if the wind picks up. He pauses. He looks at them, locking eyes with Steed, then Turbyfill, then Donut, and he says, "And the wind is going to pick up." He leans in. "I want heads on swivels today. No complacency. We are the first municipal hotshot crew in the country. Everyone expects us to fail. Everyone is waiting for us to slip. Do we slip?" And the crew, in unison, a guttural roar that shakes the lockers, screams back, "No, sir." Grab your gear. Buggies roll in 5. The sound of lockers slamming, metal on metal. The sound of an army mobilizing. They filed out into the blinding Arizona sun. 19 of them. They looked invincible. They felt invincible. They had the training. They had the strength. But as they loaded into the buggies, those white transport trucks that served as their chariots, none of them looked at the sky. If they had, they might have seen the clouds gathering in the north, dark, bruised, the anvil of a storm that was already deciding how this day would end. To understand the murder weapon, you have to understand the chemistry of a drought. Arizona had been in a drought for 10 years, but 2013 was special. The winter brought no snow. The spring brought no rain. By June, the relative humidity in Yarnell wasn't just low, it was single digits. The air was so dry, it was pulling moisture out of the furniture inside people's houses. Take a look at the brush covering this mountain. It's called Arctostaphylos pungens, point leaf manzanita. To a tourist, it looks like a pretty green bush. To a firefighter, it is fuel model 4. Here is the math that kills you. In a healthy plant, the live fuel moisture is usually over 120%. It's full of water. On June 28, 2013, the fuel moisture in Yarnell was measured at 67%. That is the critical threshold.
Below 67%, the plant stops acting like wood. It starts acting like a refined petroleum product. The leaves are coated in a flammable wax. When they heat up, they don't just burn, they explode. It started 48 hours earlier, sunset June 28th. A single bolt of dry lightning, electricity without rain, hit the ridge high above the town, near a landmark called the Shrine. It sounded like a whip crack. It didn't start a raging inferno, not yet. It started a sleeper. It sat there for 36 hours, smoldering in the duff, eating the roots of the scrub oak underground, waiting for the sun, waiting for the wind. By the morning of June 30th, the sun rises over the Weaver Mountains, angry and white-hot. You can see the heat shimmering off the asphalt of Highway 89. The Granite Mountain buggies park at the base of the ridge. The crew spills out, cramming knees that have been knocking together for an hour. As they step out of the air conditioning, the heat hits them like a physical blow. Travis Turbyfill, the humble giant, adjusts his sunglasses and checks the thermometer on his pack. He shakes his head looking at the reading and says, "Reading 102 already. It's not even 9 a.m. You hear the clack-click of buckles and the heavy grunt of 19 men shouldering 50-pound packs. They begin the hike. This isn't a trail, it is a vertical ascent up a slope covered in boulders the size of Volkswagens, hidden under brush that claws at their shins. They hike in a single-file line, the hook. Steed is in the front. Marsh is floating the line. Every step sends a cloud of dust into the air. They are hiking towards the smoke. When they reach the ridgeline, they look down into the valley. The fire's there. It's creeping through the rocks. It looks lazy, low flames, nothing scary. Brendan Donut McDonough wipes sweat from his eyes, panting hard. He looks at the small flames and says, "Doesn't look like much, Soup, just skunking around in the rocks." Marsh scans the horizon with his binoculars. He lowers them, looking stern. He says, "Don't insult the fire, Brendan. It hears you. It's just waking up. Wait until the sun hits that slope." He points to the north. Miles away, giant thunderheads are building, towering anvils of moisture and violence. He says, "See that? Monsoonal flow. That's the wild card. If those storms collapse, if they drop a column of air, it's going to push wind down this valley like a leaf blower."
Marsh makes a decision. He needs eyes. He needs a lookout. He picks Brendan. He points to a small hill, separated from the main ridge. A good vantage point. He tells him, "Donut, I want you on that knob. You're the lookout. You watch the trigger points. If that fire crosses the drainage, you call it. You got me?" Brendan nods. "I got it, Soup. I'll be your eyes." Brendan separates from the group. He hikes alone to the lookout point. The other 19 men turn their backs to him and hike deeper into the ridge, moving towards the active fire line. That was the last time they were all together. 10 a.m. The temperature hits 104. The humidity drops to 8%. And deep inside the molecular structure of the manzanita bushes surrounding them, the last microscopic water molecules evaporate. The fuse is lit. The bomb is primed. By 2 p.m., the fire has grown to 300 acres. The slop-over, fire crossing the containment lines, has begun. The Granite Mountain Hotshots are working the black line. They're cutting a fire break, scraping the earth down to mineral soil, removing the fuel so the fire has nothing to eat. It is brutal, back-breaking work, swinging a Pulaski axe into rocky soil 40 times a minute, digging a trench 18 inches wide, miles long. Garrett Zuppiger is swinging his tool, his face covered in soot, sweat cutting rivers through the black grime on his cheeks. He yells over the sound of chainsaws. "It's getting hot, brothers! I can feel it through my boots!" Then the radio crackles. It's the pilot from Air Attack. He says, "Granite Mountain, this is Air Attack. We are seeing increased fire behavior on your flank. That thunderstorm to the north is building. You guys copy?" Marsh grabs his radio. "Copy, Air Attack. We are watching it. We have a good safety zone in the black. We're good." The black. That is the firefighter's safety blanket.
burnt ground, land that is already burned. Fire can't burn the same place twice. As long as they stay in the black, they are safe. They are on an island of safety in a sea of fuel. But Eric Marsh isn't satisfied with just being safe. He is a hotshot. His job is to protect the town. And from where they stand, they can see the fire hooking around the mountain, heading straight for Yarnell. Marsh stands on a rock, looking down at the town below. He sees the houses, the school, the retirement home. He looks at the fire cutting off their path. You can almost hear the gears turning in his head. He thinks, we can't do anything from here. We're just watching it burn. If we want to save those houses, we have to move. We have to get down to the ranch. This is the moment, the decision, to stay in the black, safe and useless, or to hike through the green, through the unburned fuel to get to a better position to fight. It is a choice between self-preservation and duty. And Eric Marsh, he didn't know how to quit. Suddenly, the wind picks up. A gust hits Marsh, blowing his helmet back. He squints against a grit. The trees around him start to sway violently. The sound of the wind changes. It's not a breeze anymore. It's a whistle, a warning. At 3:30 p.m., the atmosphere breaks. Up until now, the enemy has been the heat, but now something strange happens. The temperature drops. It plummets 10 degrees in 15 minutes. To a civilian, a cool breeze on a hot day feels like a blessing. To a firefighter, it feels like the barrel of a gun pressing against the back of their neck. It's called an outflow boundary. Here's the physics of the trap. That massive thunderstorm tower to the north, the one Marsh pointed out hours ago, it has grown too heavy. It can no longer support its own weight. The column of air inside it collapses, crashing down towards the earth at 60 miles per hour. When that column hits the ground, it splatters like a bucket of water dropped from a roof. It spreads out in all directions, and it pushes the wind. Brendan Donut McDonough is sitting on his lookout knob, alone. He feels the wind shift on his sweaty skin. It was blowing gently from the southwest, pushing the fire away from him. Now, it swirls, it stops, and then it hits him hard from the north. He stands up. The smoke, which had been drifting lazily to the right, suddenly snaps. It banks hard. It starts coming straight at him. Brendan grabs his radio. His voice is tight. He says, "Granite Mountain, this is Donut. The wind is shifting hard. It's pushing the smoke right on top of me. I'm losing visibility." Marsh comes back, his voice crackling through the static. "Copy that, Donut. Watch your trigger points. If it hits that drainage, you bail. Do not hesitate." Brendan looks down at the drainage, the gully between him and the fire. The flames aren't crawling anymore. They're standing up. The fire behavior changes instantly. It goes from a surface fire to a crown fire. It jumps into the tops of the trees. The flame lengths double, 20 feet, 30 feet. And then the trigger point is breached. The fire races across the line in the sand Brendan had drawn in his mind. Brendan keys the mic, and this time he isn't asking for permission. He's running. He yells, "Soup, it crossed the trigger. I'm bugging out. I'm leaving the lookout." Marsh's voice is immediate, firm, a father guiding his son through a minefield. "Go, Brendan. Get to the safety zone. Get to the dozer line. Do not stop." Brendan scrambles down the back of the hill. He's hiking alone in a world that is turning orange. The smoke is so thick he can taste the chemicals, the burning creosote, the acrid bite of melting sap. He reaches the dirt road, his chest heaving, his eyes stinging. And then, a miracle. A pickup truck comes tearing out of the gloom. It's the superintendent of another crew, the Blue Ridge Hotshots. He slams on the brakes. The driver leans out, screaming over the roar of the wind. "Get in! Get in the truck!" Brendan dives into the back seat. He looks out the rear window. The hill where he was standing 5 minutes ago? It is gone, consumed by a wall of fire 50 feet high. If he had hesitated, if he had waited just 300 seconds longer, he would be ash. He grabs the radio again. He needs Marsh to know he's alive.
Granite Mountain, this is Donut. I'm with Blue Ridge. I'm safe, I'm clear. Marsh replies, and this is the moment, the pivot point of history. Marsh sounds relieved, but he also sounds restless. Marsh says, "Copy that, Donut. Glad you're safe. We're getting ready to move." Up on the ridge, the main crew is still in the black. They are safe. They have eaten their lunch. They are watching the fire turn toward the town of Yarnell. They see the smoke column leaning over the houses like a predator. Eric Marsh pulls Jesse's Steed aside. Steed is the captain. He is the muscle, the heart of the crew, an ex-Marine who can carry a chainsaw like it's a toothpick. Marsh points to the valley floor, to a ranch called Boulder Springs. It's a large, open field, a perfect safety zone. Marsh says, "Steed, look at that. The fire is hooking. It's going to cut off the highway. If we stay here, we do nothing. We just watch the town burn." Steed wipes soot from his forehead. He looks at the route. It's a descent through a box canyon, a canyon filled with unburned fuel. He looks at the fire, which is currently moving away from that canyon. Steed nods, trusting his superintendent implicitly. He says, "It's a hike, Soup, but if we punch down that 2-track road, we can cut underneath the fire, we can hit the ranch, reassess, and maybe protect those structures." Eric Marsh looks at the crew. 19 men. They are rested. They are ready. They didn't come here to sit on a burnt ridge while people's homes turn to carbon. They came to fight. Eric Marsh makes the call. He addresses the crew. He doesn't shout. He doesn't have to. "All right, boys, packs on, we're moving. We're going to drop down into the canyon, cut across to the ranch, and see if we can do some good. It's a hike through the green, so keep it tight. Move fast." Christopher McKenzie, always the sharp one, checks his camera. He snaps a few photos of the fire. He checks the time, 3:52 p.m. He turns to the guy next to him, Grant McKee, and grins. He says, "Here we go again, another walk in the park. Try to keep up, cousin." They shoulder the packs, 50 pounds of gear. They step off the black, burnt safety of the ridge and step into the green, living brush of the canyon. They are walking into a trap. Because what Eric Marsh doesn't know, what nobody knows yet, is that the wind isn't done changing. The thunderstorm that collapsed miles away is sending a second wave of air. A massive, invisible fist of wind is racing across the desert floor. It is aiming directly for the mouth of that canyon. It is going to turn the fire 90 degrees. It is going to slam the door shut behind them. As they descend into the bowl, the walls of the canyon rise up around them, cutting off their view of the fire. They are blind. They are relying on their judgment. They are relying on the wind staying the same. Down, down, down they go. Into the chute, into the box. The clock ticks to 4 p.m. The humidity hits 4%. The wind speed gusts to 45 miles per hour. And the monster turns. They call it situational awareness. It is the religion of the hotshot. It means knowing where the fire is, where the wind is, and where you are, every single second. But the moment they drop off that ridge, they lose it. Geologically speaking, they are entering a box canyon. Imagine a horseshoe carved out of granite. 3 sides are vertical walls of rock and steep brush. The 4th side, the open end, points towards the town of Yarnell. When you are on the ridge, you are a god. You can see the world, you can see the weather, you can see the enemy. When you drop into the canyon, you are a rat in a maze. The horizon disappears. The sky narrows to a slit above your head. The wind, which was screaming in your ears up top, suddenly goes quiet. But it's a lie. The wind hasn't stopped. It is just flowing over the canyon, like air blowing over the top of a soda bottle. It's creating a vacuum, a low-pressure system inside the bowl. Let's talk about the physics of the hike. It's not just walking, it's a controlled fall. You are carrying 55 pounds. When you step down a steep grade, your lead leg has to absorb the kinetic energy of your body weight plus the pack. That's roughly 250 pounds slamming into your knee joint 3,000 times an hour. Your quadriceps are firing an eccentric contraction, lengthening under tension. It burns hotter than concentric movement. It floods the blood with lactic acid. Scott Norris, 28 years old, swings his chainsaw to his other shoulder. The pad on his vest is soaked through with sweat. The plastic handle of the steel is slippery. He looks at the ground. It's decomposed granite, like walking on marble spilled on a slide. Every step is a gamble. You slide 6 inches for every foot you step. Marsh is at the front now, picking the line. He isn't following a trail, he's reading the land. He's looking for game trails, paths worn by deer and javelina. Animals are smart. They take the path of least resistance. Marsh follows the ghosts of the animals. Halfway down the slope, the brush changes. Up top, it was open. Down here, it's a jungle. Manzanita, scrub oak, mountain mahogany. It's 12 feet tall. It's so thick you can't see the man 10 feet in front of you. You can only hear him. The crash, crash, crash of boots breaking through dry branches, the sound of nylon packs scraping against thorns. Jesse Steed, the captain, keys his radio to talk to the crew on the private channel, the Victor channel. He senses the mood. It's quiet, too quiet. He needs to keep the dopamine flowing. He needs to keep them sharp. He growls into the mic, mimicking a drill sergeant. "Keep it tight, ladies. I don't want any gaps. If you see a rattlesnake, don't pet it, just eat it. Tastes like chicken." A ripple of laughter moves down the line. Tensions ease, just a fraction. Travis Turbofil, the Joker, shoots back. "Hey, Steed, if we get back to the ranch, you buying the first round? My back is billing you by the hour." Steed grins. "You get to the ranch, Turb, and I'll buy you the whole damn brewery." It feels like a normal day, just another hike, just another grind. But observe the vegetation around them. Look closely at the scrub oak. The leaves are turned upward. This is a phenomenon called drought stress. The plant is trying to minimize surface area to the sun to save water. But by turning its leaves up, it exposes the oils on the underside. The canyon is lined with millions of these leaves. It is effectively a room with walls made of napalm. 4:15 p.m. They reach the bottom of the descent. They are on the 2-track road. It's an old Jeep trail, barely visible, winding through the bottom of the basin. The plan is simple. Walk the road, reach the Boulder Springs Ranch. It's a massive safe zone. Water, clear ground, safety. It is only 600 yards away, a 6-minute walk. Marsh stops. He wipes the grit from his face. He looks back up at the ridge they just ascended. He can't see the fire anymore. The canyon wall blocks it. He looks at the sky. The smoke column is gone. Instead, the sky is a bruised, ugly purple. The temperature drops another 5 degrees. Suddenly, the silence in the canyon breaks. It doesn't start with wind, it starts with sound. A low, vibrating hum, like a cello string being bowed too hard. It's the sound of air being forced through a restriction, the Venturi effect. The massive volume of air from the collapsing thunderstorm is hitting the mountain range, squeezing through the gaps and accelerating. Marsh turns to Steed. The banter is gone. The smile is gone. Marsh says, "You feel that?" Steed nods. He wets a finger and holds it up. Wind shifted, Soup. It was southwest. Now, it's coming from the north. Hard. Marsh pulls his radio. He tries to call air attack. He needs eyes in the sky. He needs to know what the fire is doing behind the ridge. Granite Mountain to air attack. Update on fire location. Static. Nothing but static. The topography of the canyon is blocking the signal. They are in a calm dead zone. They are deaf. They are blind. And they are 600 yards from salvation. Marsh makes the only call he can make. Double time. Let's move. We get to the ranch, we get eyes on. The pace quickens. The hike becomes a jog. The heavy thump of 19 pairs of boots hitting the hard-packed dirt. Thump, 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 thump. The rhythm of an engine. The rhythm of a clock running out of time. To their left, a ridge of rock separates them from the town. To their right, the steep slope they just came down. Behind that slope, the beast has turned. The fire, pushed by the new 40-mile-per-hour wind, hasn't just flanked them, it has hooked.
It has raced across the plateau, cresting the ridge they were standing on an hour ago. And now it is looking down into the bowl. It sees the fuel. It sees the continuous carpet of dry brush leading all the way to the bottom. And it sees the 19 men walking in the middle of it. Gravity is about to become the enemy. Fire usually travels faster uphill, heat rises, but when the wind is strong enough, when it's a downburst, it can push fire downhill faster than a falling rock. The flames crest the ridge, they detach from the ground, they become rolling vortices. Imagine a tornado made of fire, horizontal, rolling down the hill like a steamroller. At 4:30 p.m., the first embers begin to fall into the canyon around the men. They aren't small sparks, they are the size of pine cones, burning brands. They land in the brush ahead of them. Poof, poof. Spot fires, little jagged teeth of orange appearing in the green. Garrett Zupiger, near the back of the line, stops. He turns around. He looks up at the ridge they just left. His eyes go wide, the pupils dilate to the size of quarters. The entire ridgeline, a mile long, is exploding. A waterfall of fire is cascading down the slope. It is moving at 15 miles per hour. It sounds like a freight train derailing directly behind them. Zupiger screams, a sound that tears his throat lining. "Back! It's behind us! It's behind us!" Marsh spins around. He sees it. The trap is snapped shut. The route to the ranch is cut off by the spot fires ahead. The route back up the hill is a wall of death. The canyon walls are too steep to climb. They're in the killing jar. Marsh looks at the terrain. He scans for options. His brain is cycling through thousands of hours of training in a microsecond. Water? No. Black? No. Vehicle? No. He spots a small clearing to the side of the road, a deployment zone. It's not perfect, it's terrible, it's full of unburned fuel, but it's the only card they have left to play. He grabs the radio mic. He doesn't scream, he drops his voice an octave. He engages the command voice, the voice that stops panic, the voice that makes men follow you into hell. Crew, stop. Turn around, we are deploying. Improve the sight. Cut the brush. Do it now. This is the dopamine hit of pure crystallized adrenaline. The chainsaws roar to life. Vroom, vroom. 19 men switch from hiking mode to survival mode instantly. It is a ballet of violence. They attack the brush. They are trying to clear a circle large enough to save their lives. They have chainsaws swinging inches from each other's legs. They are scraping the ground with McLeods, sparks flying. They are trying to create a miracle in the middle of hell. The heat is already hitting them. It's radiant heat, infrared radiation. It travels at the speed of light. It cooks the skin before the flame even arrives. The plastic on their helmets starts to soften. The glue in their boots starts to liquefy. Marsh stands in the center of the chaos. He is the conductor. He points. Clear that sector. Dig faster. He looks at his watch. 4:39 p.m. He looks at the wall of fire coming down the hill. It is creating a roaring front. The sound is washing out the chainsaws. It is vibrating their chest cavities. He knows. Somewhere deep in the lizard brain that keeps us alive, Eric Marsh knows the clearing isn't big enough. The time isn't long enough. The fire is too big. But he keeps cutting, because that is what they do. They fight until the sky turns black. To their left, a ridge of rock separates them from the town. To their right, the steep slope they just came down. Behind that slope, the beast has turned. The fire, pushed by the new 40-mile-per-hour wind, hasn't just flanked them, it has hooked. It has raced across the plateau, cresting the ridge they were standing on an hour ago, and now it is looking down into the bowl. It sees the fuel. It sees the continuous carpet of dry brush leading all the way to the bottom, and it sees the 19 men walking in the middle of it. Gravity is about to become the enemy. Fire usually travels faster uphill. Heat rises. But when the wind is strong enough, when it is a downburst, it can push fire downhill faster than a falling rock. The flames crest the ridge. They detach from the ground. They become rolling vortices. Imagine a tornado made of fire, horizontal, rolling down the hill like a steamroller. At 4:30 p.m., the first embers begin to fall into the canyon around the men. They aren't small sparks. They're the size of pine cones, burning brands. They land in the brush ahead of them. Poof, poof. Spot fires, little jagged teeth of orange appearing in the green. Garrett Zuppiger, near the back of the line, stops. He turns around. He looks up at the ridge they just left. His eyes go wide, the pupils dilate to the size of quarters. The entire ridgeline, a mile long, is exploding. A waterfall of fire is cascading down the hill. It is moving at 15 miles per hour. It sounds like a freight train derailing directly behind them. Zuppiger screams, a sound that tears his throat lining. "Back! It's behind us! It's behind us!" Marsh spins around. He sees it. The trap has snapped shut. The route to the ranch is cut off by the spot fires ahead. The route back up the hill is a wall of death. The canyon walls are too steep to climb. They are in the killing jar. Marsh looks at the terrain. He scans for options. His brain is cycling through thousands of hours of training in a microsecond. Water, no. Black, no. Vehicle, no. He spots a small clearing to the side of the road, a deployment zone. It's not perfect, it's terrible, it's full of unburned fuel, but it's the only card they have left to play. He grabs the radio mic. He doesn't scream, he drops his voice an octave. He engages the command voice, the voice that stops panic, the voice that makes men follow you into hell. "Crew, stop, turn around, we are deploying, improve the sight, cut the brush, do it now." This is the dopamine hit of pure, crystallized adrenaline. The chainsaws roar to life. Vroom, vroom. 19 men switch from hiking mode to survival mode instantly. It is a ballet of violence. They attack the brush. They are trying to clear a circle large enough to save their lives. They have chainsaws swinging inches from each other's legs. They're scraping the ground with McLeods, sparks flying. They're trying to create a miracle in the middle of hell. The heat is already hitting them. It's radiant heat, infrared radiation. It travels at the speed of light. It cooks the skin before the flame even arrives. The plastic on their helmets starts to soften. The glue in their boots starts to liquefy. Marsh stands in the center of the chaos. He is the conductor. He points. "Clear that sector. Dig. Dig faster." He looks at his watch. 4:39 p.m. He looks at the wall of fire coming down the hill. It is creating a roaring front. The sound is washing out the chainsaws. It is vibrating their chest cavities. He knows. Somewhere, deep in the lizard brain that keeps us alive, Eric Marsh knows. The clearing isn't big enough. The time isn't long enough. The fire is too big. But he keeps cutting, because that is what they do. They fight until the sky turns black. Imagine a stopwatch ticking in a room that is slowly filling with water. That is the feeling inside the canyon. But instead of water, it is heat. The crew is working in a frenzy. This isn't landscaping. This is combat engineering. They are trying to carve a safety circle out of dense, woody chaparral in under 2 minutes. Let's look at the mechanics of a deployment site. The manual, the Wildland Firefighter's Bible, says a deployment site needs to be free of vegetation for a radius of at least 30 feet. You need bare mineral soil. You need to remove anything that can burn. Why? Because of convective heat. If the brush burns next to your shelter, the flames will touch the aluminum. Aluminum melts at 1200 degrees. Burning manzanita burns at 1800 degrees. If the flame touches the shelter ceases to exist. It becomes a foil wrapper melting onto the man inside. So they cut. The saws are screaming at max RPM. The chains are spinning at 80 feet per second. Travis Turbyfill is on his knees, hacking at the root ball of a scrub oak with a Pulaski. The ground is hard, caliche clay and granite rock. Every strike sends a shockwave up his arms, jarring his bones. He ignores it. He is thinking about his wife. He is thinking about his 2 daughters.
Hack, hack, hack. I am coming home. I am coming home. The fire is now 300 yards away, but the distance is deceptive. At this moment, the fire is spotting. The wind is tearing chunks of burning debris from the main front and throwing them over the heads of the crew. It's raining fire. Embers land on their shirts. They slap them out. Embers land in the uncut brush inside their safety circle. Whoosh! A bush ignites 5 feet from where Grant McKee is standing. He spins, kicks dirt onto it, stomps it out. They are fighting a war on 2 fronts, the monster coming down the hill and the saboteurs landing inside their fortress. Eric Marsh pulls out a flare, a fusee. He strikes it. It hisses to life, burning neon pink, 3,600 degrees. He starts lighting the brush around their circle on fire. It seems insane. Why add fire to fire? It's a burnout. He's trying to burn the fuel before the main wave hits. If he can create a ring of black ash around them, the main fire will hit the black and lay down. It will starve. But the wind is too strong. He lights a bush. The wind grabs the flame and rips it sideways. It doesn't burn out, it burns in. The fire is refusing to be controlled. 4:40 p.m. The roar is now physical. It feels like standing directly behind a jet engine at takeoff power. The smoke drops. Visibility goes to 0. It is night at noon. The sky is gone. The sun is gone. There is only an orange glow pulsing through the swirling black smoke. Marsh makes the final call. The time for cutting is over. The time for fighting is over. Drop the tools, shelters, get them out. This is the sound of surrender. The tools, the chainsaws they treat like children, the axes they sharpen every night, are dropped in the dirt. They become litter. 19 men reach for the hard plastic cases on their belts. Rip, shake, pop. The M2002 shelter looks like a silver sleeping bag, but it isn't soft. It's crinkly, stiff, awkward. In training, on a grassy field, you can deploy it in 15 seconds. Try doing it in a hurricane of ash. Try doing it when your hands are sweating so much you can't grip the plastic pull tabs. Try doing it when you know this is the last thing you will ever do. Brendan McDonough, Donut, is miles away. He is safe in the cab of the Blue Ridge truck. He hears the radio transmission. He hears Eric Marsh's voice one last time. It isn't screaming. It isn't panicked. It is the voice of a captain going down with the ship. Granite Mountain, we are deploying. And then, silence. The radio carrier wave cuts out. The link to the world is severed. Back in the circle, the men are getting in. They lie on the ground, face down. They put their feet towards the fire. They pull the shelter over their heads. They cuck the edges under their bodies, using their own weight to seal it to the ground. They are creating a tiny, fragile bubble of air. Inside the shelter, it is dark. It is cramped. You can hear the breathing of the man next to you. You can hear the prayers. You can hear the scream of the wind outside. There is a hierarchy even here. The Sawyers, the experienced men, are on the outside of the circle. The younger guys, the rookies, are in the middle. Marsh is on the far end. He takes the spot taking the brunt of the wind. He is shielding them, even now. Imagine the sensory experience inside that foil bag. The ground is hot. The air you breathe is limited. You have a small window of plastic to look out of. Travis Turbofil looks out of his window. He sees the world turn orange, then red, then white. The fire front hits. It doesn't pass over them. It is them. The temperature spikes from 100 degrees to 2,000 degrees in 3 seconds. The oxygen is ripped away. The roar is deafening. The aluminum shakes violently, battered by 60-mile-per-hour winds. It sounds like being inside a popcorn machine. This is the dopamine of horror, the realization of the sheer scale of the energy release. A nuclear bomb releases its energy in a nanosecond. A wildfire releases it over minutes.
But the energy yield? The Yarnell Hill fire at its peak was releasing the energy equivalent of a Hiroshima bomb every 10 minutes. And 19 men were lying in the dirt, covered by a layer of foil thinner than a credit card. Outside the canyon, the world continues. The residents of Yarnell are evacuating. The news helicopters are circling. They see the smoke. They see the flames, but they don't see the men. The men are hidden in the belly of the beast. Inside the shelter, time distorts. A second feels like an hour. The heat begins to penetrate. First, it feels like a sunburn, then like an iron. Then the glue holding the shelter layers together begins to fail. The smell of melting adhesive fills the small space. It smells like bitter almonds and burning plastic. Eric Marsh, in his shelter, presses his face into the dirt. He digs a small hole with his nose, trying to find cool air. He thinks of his wife, Amanda. He thinks of the crew, his boys. He wonders if he made the right call, if the ranch was ever reachable, or if the trap was set before they even woke up this morning. And then the final mercy, carbon monoxide, the silent killer. Before the heat finishes its work, the gas seeps in. It bonds to the hemoglobin in the blood 200 times faster than oxygen. It acts like an anesthetic. The panic fades. The pain dulls. The roar of the fire starts to sound distant, like the ocean. The adrenaline crashes. The dopamine stops. The darkness comes. 4:48 p.m. 6 minutes after deployment. The main front passes. The roar subsides. The wind dies down. The canyon is silent. But it is a different kind of silence than before. It is the silence of a graveyard. The smoke hangs heavy, a shroud over the blackened earth. 19 silver shapes lie in the ash. Still. Perfectly still. The fire didn't stop. That's the cruel thing about nature. It has no malice, but it also has no mercy. It ate the ridge, it ate the canyon, and then it moved on to Yarnell. It burned 127 homes. It turned memories into ash. But compared to what lay in the box canyon, those houses were just wood and stucco. 4:50 p.m. Brendan McDonough's with the Blue Ridge superintendent. He's frantic. He's staring at the radio. Granite Mountain? Granite Mountain, come in. Static. Soup? Steed? Anyone, talk to me. Static. The silence is loud. It has a weight. It presses on your chest. Brendan feels the survivor's guilt starting to bloom in his gut, a cold, heavy knot. Why is he here? Why is he safe? 5 p.m. A simplified short-haul helicopter, a DPS Ranger, lifts off. The pilot, a man who has seen everything, flies low over the smoke. He is looking for 19 yellow shirts. He is looking for a crew standing in the black, waving, maybe a little singed, but alive. He banks the helicopter over the box canyon. The smoke is clearing. The wind has pushed the main column east. He looks down. He sees the deployment site. It looks like a patch of moonscape in the middle of hell. He sees the silver shapes. They are clustered together, tight, a brotherhood even in death. He keys his mic. His voice cracks. Dispatch, I have visual on the deployment site. He pauses. He has to say the words, but his brain refuses to form them. I see 19 shelters. There is no movement. Repeat, no movement. The news travels through the radio waves like a shock wave. It hits the incident command post. Men who have fought fire for 30 years drop their pencils. They stare at the wall. It hits the families in Prescott. The wives, the mothers, the girlfriends. They are gathered at the high school, waiting. They know something is wrong. The jungle drums, the unofficial network of firefighter gossip, are beating. They lost a crew. Who? Granite Mountain. All of them? All of them. Now we have to talk about the recovery. This is the part that isn't in the news reports. This is the dopamine of grief, the visceral reality of the aftermath. It's now night. The fire is still glowing on the horizon, but the canyon is dark. A team of elite DPS paramedics is lowered into the site.
They step out of the helicopter into ankle-deep ash. The heat is still radiating from the ground. It melts the soles of their boots. They turn on their headlamps. The beams of light cut through the gloom, illuminating the silver shapes. The job of a paramedic is to triage, to check for a pulse. They move to the first shelter. They lift the edge. They check. Code black. They move to the next. Code black. 19 times. 19 checks. 19 confirmations. But then something happens. A Wildland firefighter never leaves a brother behind. One of the paramedics, a rugged guy, tough as nails, starts to weep. Not crying, weeping. But he doesn't stop working. They cover the bodies. They drape American flags over each one. But they don't just leave them there. They stay. They stand guard. In the middle of the night, surrounded by smoldering stumps and the smell of death, a group of strangers stands vigil over the Granite Mountain Hotshots. They won't let the coyotes come near. They won't let the media choppers get a shot. They form a perimeter of respect. The next morning, the procession begins. This is the moment the nation breaks. 19 white hearses line up on the highway. They drive from Yarnell back to Prescott. The route is 100 miles, and every single mile is lined with people. Old men saluting, children holding flags, firefighters from every department in the state standing at attention on overpasses. It is a river of grief flowing through the desert. But the story isn't over. We have to go back to the science of the tragedy. The investigation team arrives. They are forensic engineers. They don't look for tears, they look for data. They walk the site, they measure the stump heights, they find the tools, they find the chainsaws, melted into puddles of steel and magnesium. They find the cameras. Christopher Mackenzie's camera. The plastic is melted, but the memory card? The memory card is inside, shielded. They pull it out, they plug it in, and suddenly the ghosts speak. We see the photos. 3:50 p.m. They are hiking. They are smiling. Steed is giving a thumbs up. Marsh is looking at the map. The fire is in the background, lurking, but they look confident. They look alive. These photos are the black box of the disaster. They prove that until the very last second, they didn't think they were going to die. They thought they were just doing a job. They thought they were walking to the ranch. They thought they were coming home. And then there's the 2-track road. The investigators walk it. They measure the distance. From the deployment site to the ranch to safety was only 600 yards. 600 yards. If they had left 10 minutes earlier, they make it. If they had walked a little faster, they make it. If the wind had waited just 5 more minutes, they make it. It's a game of inches, a game of seconds, and that is the tragedy. It wasn't a mistake, it wasn't incompetence, it was a perfect mathematical alignment of bad luck. It was the Swiss cheese model of failure. Every hole lined up perfectly to let the catastrophe through. The adrenaline is gone. The anger is gone. All that is left is the silence, and the question that hangs in the air like smoke. Why? Why them? Why the best of us? Maybe because the fire doesn't care. Or maybe because heroes are the only ones who stand close enough to the dragon to get burned. The smoke cleared, but the silence remained. In the days after, Prescott, Arizona became a city of ghosts. You couldn't walk down Whiskey Row without seeing them. A ghostly slap on the back in a bar, a phantom laugh echoing in the gym, the empty spot in the driveway where a truck used to park. Let's talk about the survivors. Not just Brendan McDonough, but the wives, the mothers, the children. Jillian Ashcraft, Andrew's wife, she has 4 kids. She has to explain to them why Daddy isn't coming home. She has to explain that Daddy is a hero. But to a 4-year-old, hero is an abstract concept. Daddy is real, and Daddy is gone. She sits in a room full of lawyers and city officials. They talk about benefits and classifications. Because Granite Mountain was a municipal crew, not federal, there is a loophole. They were seasonal employees, technically part-time. No lifetime pension, no health insurance for the families. This is the second tragedy, the bureaucratic knife twisting in the wound.
But the families fight. They fight with the same grit their husbands had. And eventually, they win. They change the laws. Even from the grave, the Granite Mountain Hotshots are protecting their own. And Brendan? Donut? He's the lone survivor. That's a heavy title to wear. It sounds cool in a movie. In real life, it feels like a curse. He walks through the grocery store and people stare. Some look at him with pity. Some look at him with a question in their eyes. Why you? Why did you live? He asks himself that question every morning. He spirals. The PTSD hits him like a sledgehammer. The drugs, the alcohol, the darkness. He goes to the edge of the abyss. He looks down, but he doesn't jump. Why? Because he hears Marsh's voice. Get up, Donut. We didn't die so you could quit. Fix your boots, get back on the line. He finds a way back. He writes a book. He speaks. He becomes the keeper of the flame. He realizes his survival wasn't a mistake. It was an assignment. He is the witness. He is the one who has to tell the story. Now, let's go back to the site. Yarnell Hill today. It's a state park now, a memorial. You can hike the trail. It's the same trail they took. You can walk the 7 miles. You can feel the heat. You can see the boulders. When you get to the deployment site, it's quiet. There is a wall of gabion baskets, rocks and wire cages encircling the spot. Inside, there are 19 crosses, 19 plaques. But look closer. Look at the ground. The earth is still scorched. The scrub oak is growing back, but it's different. It's greener. It's fed by the ashes of giants. Let's visualize the last alarm, the funeral. A stadium filled with thousands of firefighters, flags from every state. The bagpipes start, Amazing Grace. It's a sound that vibrates in your bones. The bell rings. Ding, ding, ding. Signal 5555. The signal for a firefighter who has returned to quarters for the last time. The names are read. Andrew Ashcraft, Robert Caldwell, Travis Carter, Dustin DeFord, Christopher Mackenzie, Eric Marsh, Grant McKee, Sean Misner, Scott Norris, Wade Parker, John Person, Anthony Rose, Jesse Steed, Joe Thurston, Travis Turbyfill, William Warnicki, Clayton Whitted, Kevin Wojciech, Garrett Zuppiger. Each name is a hammer blow. But as the echoes fade, something else rises. A feeling. It's not sadness anymore. It's pride. It's the dopamine of legacy. These men didn't just die, they lived. They lived more in their 20-something years than most people do in 80. They knew what it felt like to stand on a peak and watch the world burn. They knew the brotherhood of the line. They knew the taste of ash and the sweetness of water. The narrator's voice shifts. It becomes direct, talking to you. So, the next time you see a column of smoke on the horizon, the next time you see a news report about a wildfire in the West, don't just see the destruction. See the line. See the yellow shirts hiking up the ridge. See the boots on the ground. Remember the weight of the packs. Remember the heat. Remember the 19. Because as long as we tell their story, as long as we feel the heat, they are not gone. They're just on the other side of the ridge, waiting for the wind to change.